we go. It's hour 2. It is a Monday, live in Los Angeles. It's The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Colin Right, Colin Wrong, brought to you by Jersey Mike's. It's their Jersey Mike's month of giving. Over 200 charities. You can visit a local store to help or go to jerseymikes.com. Jersey Mike's, be a sub above. All right. Good to have you in today. Joy moved Saturday. I'm moving today. It's fine. We're all good. You know, whatever. Our dogs are utterly confused. I don't know where they're at. I called my wife. They don't know what they're doing. Dad, come home. We're lost. Where are we? We don't know any of the dogs in the neighborhood. They're all. I bought the home for the dogs because it had a great backyard and a great front yard. They can run around.
Oh, they love that.
Yeah, they just right now it's it's like when you move into a new neighborhood the first day, you don't know where the dry cleaners is at. You don't, and I'm a human, and I get all rattled.
You gotta get your bearings.
Imagine the dogs can't get their bearings. That's of course the voice of Joy Taylor, and here we go on a Monday. Colin Right, Colin Wrong.
Where Colin was right.
We predicted Cam Newton, New England would run him back, and why not? There's a lot of quarterbacks in the market, none of them for $14 million for 1 year. Listen, they have an excellent O-line. Every quarterback's better in their second year with the team. Their running backs are more than solid enough, and we know their defense, guys opting back in, will be good. They feel like a 9-7, 10-6 team. And again, let's be fair about this. Cam got COVID in the middle of the season, so he missed games. Then he came back. He was awful. But in the last 9 games, he won 5 of them, lost 4, had a 90 passer rating, had 12 total touchdowns, and had a 66 completion percentage. So this idea, and for the record, working with New England's awful skill people. So it was so funny listening to Boston people complain about it the whole weekend. Go to his last 9 games. What else is on the market? 1 year, $14 million. You could get another quarterback for that. You could literally go get Sam Darnold for that. I don't know. I think it's an obvious move. We predicted it. It happened.
Where Colin was wrong.
But I didn't think Aaron Jones and the Green Bay Packers would agree to a contract. First of all, he was overlooked out of high school. He was overlooked in college. He was overlooked in the draft. I figured he would be like, I'm tired of being overlooked. Give me the money. But a smart move by Aaron Jones. This is why I like him. He took a little bit less money than the market, and he ends up on a great team, right? This team has been to the NFC Championship. He's also got Aaron Rodgers behind him. He's also got Green Bay's always done a really good job drafting and developing offensive lines. This is a smart player. This is a smart player that's like, listen, it's great for my brand, and he's got a couple big charities. I'm a Packer. I have a really good offensive line. I have a veteran quarterback that can audible me out of trouble, and if I swing out of the backfield, he can hit me. This is what smart players do. Hey, listen, it's your money, not mine. But if I'm a running back, the first thing I want to know about is my O-line and my quarterback. And I should have seen that. And Aaron Jones, Packers, good for you. It's a great combo. They're good together.
Where Colin was right.
Tom Brady. A lot of guys say they're about winning. Tom Brady's about winning. He restructured his deal again. He'll be a $9 million cap hit next year, which is 20th among quarterbacks for easily the greatest quarterback of all time. He's always been willing to push money down the road. And it's interesting, as Tampa is able to, because of Tom's $9 million, re-sign everybody. Levante Davis, Shaq Barrett, and they can re-sign everybody. Other teams can't. It looks like the NFC, Saints are having to peel off people. We'll find out what Seattle does. They've already peeled off Carlos Dunlap, but it looks like Tampa's even better.
Where Colin was wrong.
Dak finally did sign a monstrous long-term deal with Dallas. I don't know why Jerry Jones would wait for 2 years and then give Dak everything. Good for Dak, but he got everything. He got the years. You can't franchise tag him. He's got a no-trade clause. Couldn't you have done that a year and a half ago? But I was to the point where franchise tag him, even for Dak's sake. Take the $37 million and go back to the market. Every year, we need like 7, 8 quarterbacks. He'd be the number 1 quarterback on the market. But they went long-term. They waited to the last moment, and Dak won easily.
Where Colin was right.
Trey Lance is my number 2 quarterback in the draft. There's 5 first-round quarterbacks. 3 are not going to work. Just, it's not going to be a 5 for 5. Trey Lance is my number 2 after Trevor Lawrence. And after his workout Friday, scouts are now saying, wow, we see Josh Allen at Buffalo. He calls all the protections for his college team. That is not the way it works. He's thrown 1 career interception, And I know I'm just watching the guy in his shorts, and I know I have that grainy YouTube video, but I've never thought seeing talent is hard, and physically big, strong, accurate, and now the scouts are saying the same thing. It was a wow workout by Trey Lance.
Where Colin was wrong.
Well, about 5-6 weeks ago, I said the Miami Heat were a one-year bubble wonder, and since then they've caught fire. They're now a 4 seed. And I always loved Eric Spoelstra. I think he's a top 2 or 3 coach in the NBA. But I kind of thought, last year it was a little bit of a bubble thing. But now they're red hot, hottest team in the NBA since I called them that. A lot of it's Jimmy Butler. Listen, when they don't have Jimmy Butler, they're just not the same team defensively. When Jimmy Butler plays, since he returned in January from an injury, they're number 1 in defensive rating. They're 4-10 this year when Jimmy Butler doesn't play. So, we talk about valuable. Jimmy Butler, outside of LeBron, maybe the most valuable player in the league on both ends of the floor. James Harden may be more talented, but James Harden isn't as valuable because he doesn't play on one end. When Butler plays, Miami wins. When he doesn't, they're not only don't have their best score, they're not the same team defensively.
Where Colin was right.
The Kansas City Dynasty. Slow down. Last 6 weeks, blown out in the Super Bowl. Now they got to replace both their tackles. Good luck doing that in the draft. We always said these dynasties, if they ever occur, never last as long as you think. And people forget, in the history of the NFL, there's only been 5 dynasties. Green Bay, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Dallas, and New England. That's it. The media loves Kansas City, and they should. New England's academic... they were the opposite of a fireworks show. I mean, let's be honest. New England was a lot like Alabama. It's sort of a drab dynasty, and Kansas City's all sorts of fireworks and fun and flash and speed and a big-arm quarterback. But these things are hard, and Kansas City now, a little headache.
Where Colin was wrong.
What in God's name is happening with Carmelo Anthony? He is suddenly shooting 92% at the free throw line in the last 6 games, 40% from 3 and 50% from the field. So C.J. McCullough has been out for a while. And then Nurkic, the center, is out. So it's essentially Dame and Melo. And we all know Dame's great. But Carmelo Anthony is having a resurgence. The best in the last 6 games, the best he's ever shot free throws, the best he's ever shot three-pointers, and as good as he's ever shot field goals. So it's Dame, Melo, and a bunch of kids. And where is Portland right now as a seed? 5th seed. Good for Portland.
Where Colin was right.
Joel Embiid got hurt over the weekend. I like him. I think he's a great player. But I've said, when a big guy gets hurt early, watch out. He's only played in 46% of his games since he was drafted. And now, thankfully, he's only out for 2 to 3 weeks. But this is what, the 4th, 5th, or 6th injury where Embiid will have to miss significant time. He's never played more than 64 games. He is, no question, he is a remarkable talent. He's funny on social. He's got leadership qualities. But, folks, it doesn't matter who it is. When you're a big and you get hurt early, you get hurt often. And that's why I've said, if I had to move Simmons or Embiid, I'd probably move Embiid, even though he's a much better player than Simmons.
Where Colin was right.
Never been into this one-and-done thing in college basketball, and Kentucky had their worst year since 1927. John Calipari has been there 11 years, 1 title, and only 4 Final Fours, despite the fact they've had 29 first-round picks, far more than anybody else in college basketball. And the problem with the one-and-done, you're having to reboot chemistry. You bring in 4 or 5 new starters. You got 35 games in a season. The first 12, they're lost. The next 12, they start to gel. And the next 12, they're looking at the NBA because they're so damn talented. I love that college basketball has given the Gonzagas and the Villanovas, and those aren't mid-majors, don't get me wrong. They're good programs. But it just shows John Calipari was the celebrity of college basketball like 4 years ago. They're not recruiting at the same level. They're not winning at the same level. 29 first-round guys, they're not in the tournament. One and done to me is a lot of flash. 1 title, 11 years. Right now, by the way, right now this morning, Gonzaga last 5 years, better program than Kentucky. They are. They're a better program. More consistency, putting a ton of guys in the NBA, winning their conference. So there you go. Tournament. So this year it starts Friday. Well, I mean, Thursday they do some playing games. But Friday's when it gets cooking. So there are going to be some upsets. There's always a